When I was learning how to drive, my dad and I would take the highway around where we lived to get to the movie theater on the other side of town. And we would go see comic book movies. These are some of my most cherished memories. But I am worried about what comic book films are becoming. The great thing about the Marvel movies, and I think what made them become popular in the first place, is how accessible they've been. And accessibility can mean a lot of different things. For example, it means streamlining comic book lore. Like, instead of Bucky being a child soldier in World War II, he is Captain America's adult best friend. However, accessibility can be a double-edged sword, and I think for the MCU, it always has been. Villains are usually killed off in the same movie they're introduced in to make each one more contained, and you also have a lot of jokes like these.
Nobody has to break anything.
Clearly, you've never made an omelet.
You beat me by 1 second.
Plus, a lot of drip from the comics is severely kneecapped.
I'll be crying if I look like that too, bro. That's fucked up what they be doing to y'all.
So yeah, say what you will about how accessible the MCU is. It definitely has its ups and downs, but I think it is a lot better than what it is becoming. Many people, including myself, have said of the Marvel movies, especially in Phase 3, that they feel just like comic books. The colors pop, they're fun, you got wacky characters, the bad guys are real bad, and the good guys are real good. But the problem with Marvel Phase 4 is that it feels just like comic books. Okay, if you've watched my videos, you know that I love comics. But what I hate is events. I hate tie-ins, I hate callbacks that are just made to sell another comic. Modern comics still have this issue, but for me, it used to be far more egregious. My favorite example is the Suicide Squad Trial by Fire run by John Ostrander. And that is a good run, but every page is just,
"Hey Floyd, hopefully this mission won't be as rough as the last one."
Check out the Suicide Squad number 237 to find out what happened.
I know, right? Good thing we have this talisman now.
Purchase Suicide Squad versus the Metal Man if you want to know what the fuck that talisman does.
Well, I just can't believe I got roped into that other mission.
You better buy Suicide Squad versus Snowflame so you can read about a shitty metaphor for drug use. Aren't comics so fun? This is so fun, isn't it? You're having fun. I get a similar feeling watching the MCU now as I did reading runs like this before I stopped for my own sanity. Because they're always trying to force in past or future stories now. And yeah, they've always done that in the MCU, but it didn't used to be this egregious. Because ever since now with Spider-Man No Way Home and with Professor X almost certainly being in Doctor Strange 2, they're even forcing in movies that were not in the MCU initially. And I think that it makes things really complicated, and they're just trying to out-hype themselves like a snake eating its own tail over and over again. My other biggest issue with older comics is that they got way too greedy. There would be a time when there were like 4 Spider-Man comics running all at once, and it just got to be too much. And when people couldn't or wouldn't read 4 comic books at once, they didn't just read 1 or 2. They gave up. And now I think the current MCU is facing basically the same problem. They either explain the tie-ins to people who have already watched them, which would annoy them, or they don't explain them and leave the people who just wanted to watch this movie or this show in the dust. And now, ever since Endgame came out, I feel like Marvel doesn't want to make this movie. They want to make this event. And I love Endgame, but what made Endgame special is that it came after 21 movies. But now we've had 5 movies after Endgame, and one of them was an Endgame level event movie. And with Doctor Strange 2 on the horizon, we have another event movie coming up. So what do I mean by an event movie? Well, by that I mean a movie that seems more invested in cameos, in theories before it's released, rather than just the story of the movie. Endgame and Spider-Man were a lot more understandable when they did this. Endgame was the end of the whole Infinity Saga in the MCU, and Spider-Man was the cap on that trilogy. but fucking Doctor Strange 2. Why can't we just have a movie about Doctor Strange? So what pushed me over the edge into making this video was I was on the Nightmare Rectangle on TikTok, and people saw this image from the Doctor Strange 2 trailer and surmised from it that, okay, Tom Cruise will be playing Superior Iron Man in Doctor Strange 2 because, no, I have evidence for this. I do. Now what really pushed me over the edge to make this video is I saw someone comment, Tom Cruise's Superior Iron Man will be the performance of the year. What do you mean? What do you mean? A Marvel movie has never had the performance of the year, and that is okay. They don't need them. And before you say I don't like these movies, look at my Blu-ray bathroom. I love these movies. So I think I have grown tired of comic book movies, and I am becoming more appreciative of what I now call graphic novel movies. For those who don't know the difference, a graphic novel is a more self-contained version of a comic book, my favorite one being Batman: The Long Halloween. These stories are usually divorced from continuity, just taking the status quo of a character and going from there. This allows the story to be more accessible and more of an artist's single vision. I think that The Suicide Squad from this past year is a great example of a graphic novel movie. It stands on its own, it's beautiful, it's a great artist's vision, and also it doesn't feel like the Cameo movie or the Cameo show. I just got to go see a great movie that didn't have to have 1,000 cameos and tie in with movies from fucking 2002. Like, it's just good. It's just a solid ass movie. I think my exhaustion has really been enhanced not just by Marvel movies and TV, but new Star Wars TV. And don't worry, I'm not one of those, SJW's ruining Star Wars, but season 2 of The Mandalorian just felt like the Cameo show, and same with the Book of Boba Fett, and I really worry that that's what Doctor Strange 2 will be. At the end of the day, I just wish that Marvel Studios would have more faith in their characters and their creators, because I would love to watch a Doctor Strange movie where he just gets to be a beautiful mustachioed man who says insane shit like this the entire time.
By the power of omnipotent Astur, I command you to cease. Summon forth the shielding powers of the Vishanti. What is great, all-seeing eye of Agamotto? You must come to my aid!
Hey everyone, as always, thank you so much for watching that video. It means a lot to me as always. Hey, every Sunday coming back here for more content. If you're coming back week after week, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Gonna have another one next Sunday. Gotta plug my book, The Last Universe on the Left, 11 horror short stories. You know what it is, you know where to get it. But if you don't know where to get it, that's Amazon. If you don't know what it is, it's 11 horror short stories. You know what it is, you know where to get it. Anyways, yeah, thank you so much for watching that video. So, on the sequel manuscript to this, we just hit... Gotta do this because I can't drum my hands. 100 pages! Let's give it up for that. I think it's like 104 or something, but yeah, we are chugging along on that bad boy. Well, thank you so much, folks, for watching. I hope you have a great week. Bye.